2024 NBA mock draft. I took the consensus between multiple sources such as The Ringer, Bleacher Report, ESPN, and I made this mock draft with a little bit of my own intel too. So this is, in theory, the consensus 2024 NBA mock draft. The number one overall pick is Alexander Sarr. A lot of people has Reese Shea, but I think Sarr makes more sense. There's a lot of red flags for me for Reese Shea. So Sarr goes 1, Reese Shea is 2. After this, it gets a little interesting. At 3, most people had Reed Sheppard. The Ringer didn't have Reed Sheppard. They had Donovan Clingan, and that makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't make sense for the Rockets. So if Clingan goes 3, I really don't think the Rockets are drafting there. So Donovan Clingan goes 4 in this mock. 5 is Matas Buzelis, and this makes sense for the Pistons, but I've done a little bit of digging, and Buzelis does actually have a good amount of red flags. So a couple weeks ago, I was really high on him, and I thought he could probably go 4 to the Spurs, but now it really seems like he could even fall in this draft. 6, Nikola Topic, and this is just due to the fact of his ACL. He probably would have gone top 5 if he didn't have that ACL, but him sitting out a full season likely, and I mean, ACL isn't a good injury to have. So many people have made comebacks with it, but it still has hurt a lot of players' careers, so who knows about Topic. Then we have Stephon Castle at 7. That makes sense for me, also to the Spurs. Ron Holland at 8. And I don't know. I don't know a lot about Ron Holland. And same with Tidjane Salaün. I don't know how to pronounce his name perfectly, but 8 and 9 are Ron Holland and Tidjane Salaün. And I'm not sure if these guys actually will go top 10. I think they will. I think Ron Holland probably will. But they're interesting prospects to me just because I think they're guys in this draft that aren't very safe. I think they're guys that could maybe be all-stars but are also likely to be less than role players. The people who think this draft is bad are kind of right and kind of wrong. This draft doesn't have a lot of guaranteed this guy's going to be good, and there's probably not a lot of all-stars in this draft. But this draft is still deep. All the way to until about the second round, there's a ton of players that could be solid role players in the league. At 10, Dalton Knecht to the Jazz. This makes sense for me, the Jazz to go with Knecht. I really like Knecht, so we'll see what happens with him. 11, Cody Williams. I could also see the Jazz going with Cody Williams at 10, so who knows? Cody Williams looks nice. Devin Carter at 12 to the Bulls. That's a good pick if you ask me. 13, Tristan da Silva. This kind of surprised me that he's going this high, so I'm not sure that he'll actually go this high. And the next player, you might be wondering, how did I let Rob Dillingham fall to 14? I could easily see Rob Dillingham go above Stephon Castle, above Ron Holland, but just the consensus among multiple mock drafts such as The Ringer and ESPN, they have Dillingham falling down to 14, which is very interesting to me. I don't remember who's picking at 14, but they would be lucky to get Dillingham. 15, I have Zach Edey. I believe 15 is the Miami Heat. I might be wrong, but Zach Edey could probably help a team win now. Who knows? 16, Johnny Furphy. 17 is the Lakers. I bet they trade out of this pick just because I think they want Zach Edey or Bronny. Them taking Kel'el Ware, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me. 18 is Jacoby Walter. I could see him going higher or lower. At the beginning to middle of the NBA season, he was projected to go 4 at one point, and now he's down here at 18. I just really haven't heard a lot of talk about him. 19, Isaiah Collier. I'm not sure what to think of him. This guy seems like a guy that is likely to be a bust, but could potentially be an all-star. He's going into the draft just due to his potential, but he really had a disappointing season with USC this year. 20, Tyler Smith. he's an interesting prospect. We'll see what happens with him. 21, Kyle Filipowski. I could definitely see him going a little higher. At 22, we have Terrence Shannon Jr. I think he goes here just because he has so much potential, but there's been some off-the-court stuff with him, so that could prevent him from going this high. But hey, who knows? Brandon Miller had off-the-court stuff. It's obviously been resolved now. It doesn't seem like a very big deal anymore. And he went 2, so we'll see what happens there. 23, we have Jared McCain. 24, you have S.E. Missy, I believe. 25, Kaishawn George. 26, Bobby Clintman. 27, Justin Edwards. 28 is Tyler Kolek, who is an interesting prospect. And then here's a player, DaRon Holmes. I personally think he should be going 19 above Isaiah Collier, but the consensus is that he is going to be around this area. He's a center, he plays a little power forward, but he's mostly a center. He can shoot the ball very well, and I think that's kind of a perfect player for most teams in the NBA. So I feel like DaRon Holmes should go higher, and maybe he will. At 30, Jalen Tyson. If Boston could get him here, that would be a steal. He's a great defensive player, and Jalen Tyson seems like a nice player. Now we're in the second round. This is where it gets interesting. I have Adam Bona going at 31, and there's so many question marks about him, but I've just heard nothing but good stuff. Like, obviously there's some bad stuff, and he probably will not go 31, but that's where I put him here. 32, I have AJ Mitchell. 33, Carl Carrington. I'm not sure who's at 33, but if they were to grab Carl Carrington here, that would be an absolute steal. 34, Kevin McCullough. And 35 is Dylan Jones, who, the consensus was him going 40. And I'm like, that's not happening. This guy has too much talent. After this, I'm not very familiar with any of these prospects, so I kind of didn't mock them. But I did put 41. It's the Philadelphia 76ers. And I believe that the Philadelphia 76ers will draft Bronny James at 41. I don't think the Sixers are going to let him fall to LA at like 58. So I think the Sixers will draft Bronny James, and with that max cap space, they're either going to sign Bronny or Paul George, because that seems like their only option right now. Now, Philly does have cap space, so they could be open to make a trade, but check out my other videos about the Sixers, and see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.